All right, this is lesson 12 of multiplication and division unit. And what we'll start with is kind of doing a review of yesterday in terms of figuring out what factor is missing and all that. And today we're going to be learning more about division and how it relates to a missing factor problem. So yesterday you saw that, for example, we had 18 and we didn't know the number of groups, but we knew how many were in each, right? And we used a question mark to indicate our missing factor, right? 18 equals, I don't know how many groups of 2. So there's 2 in each group. I don't know how many groups there are, but I do know the total. I know the whole thing. And we talked about some strategies in terms of drawing a picture, arrays, and using repeated addition to solve this problem. For right now, we're not going to solve it. But what we are going to do is rewrite this problem, because right now, this symbol, this is multiplication, right? This is a multiplication sentence. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this missing factor problem and turn it into a division sentence. Okay? And then we're going to talk about what similarities you see and what differences you see. Okay? So the 18, we talked about the 18, what does it represent? It represents the total, or it represents the whole thing, right? This question mark, this first factor represents the, well, I should put what it actually ends up being, right? That question mark ends up equaling 9. 9 groups of 2 is 18. This first factor tells me the number of groups. Or that also could be the number of rows, right? And then this factor tells me the size of each group or row. Okay? So the 2 factors, and one of them was missing, right? Either one of these were missing when we came to solving a missing factor multiplication problem. But it was either the groups of, how many groups there are, or how many are in each. How many rows there are, how many are in each. And this is the total. Here's how we're going to write our division sentence. I'm going to start with my total. 18. I'm going to choose a factor. And in this case, 9 was my missing factor, so I'm going to choose the one that I already knew. Okay? And I'm going to make a division symbol. Division symbol is a line with a dot above and a dot below. 18, and I would say divided by 2 is the same as, and I would either put the question mark there, or in this case, since I already know that the factor is 9, I'll put 9. Okay. This, how should I say this? The 18 still represents the whole thing, or the total. The 2 still represents the size of the group. And this 9 still tells me the number of groups. The definition for these numbers doesn't change. But what does change? Yeah, the number on the other side of the equal sign, right? Over here on the other side of the equal sign is 18. And then we got our equation here. But over here, we've got our equation and we got a different number on the other side. What else is different? Yeah, the total is kind of how I start. But like, I'm normally trying to solve for the whole thing, right? In multiplication, I'm trying to solve for the whole thing. But over here, I already know the whole thing, and I gotta solve for one of the missing factors, which is what division is. Division is, I'm missing one of the factors, one of these two numbers, and I'm trying to solve for it. Okay, so let's get an example here. Let's take another example. Over here is multiplication, over here is division, okay? Let's say we've got this right here, and we'll put a question mark. 6 groups of blank equals 24. We're not going to solve for this problem, but we are going to set up a division problem to help us solve. Okay, 6 groups of blank equals 24. Well, I want to solve for my unknown, right? I want to solve for my unknown. So I could either, how do I want to do this? I want to solve for my unknown. So here's what my division sentence is going to look like so far. Something divided by something equals this question mark. What I'm trying to solve. Okay. Now, when I do division, I'm going to start with my total, my whole thing, which in this case, the total is 24. And then I'm going to plug in my factor that I know. In this case, it's 6. I know that there's 6 groups. I'm trying to solve for the size of the group. How many is going to be in each group? So then my division sentence says 24 divided by 6 equals blank. Notice 6 was the factor that I knew. The question mark was the factor I don't know, and that's what I'm solving for. That's on the other side of the equal sign. 24 is on the other side of the equal sign in multiplication. It's the total, it's the whole thing. I start with my total in division. I start with my total in division. Why? Why do you start with the total in division? Because think about the problem that we had yesterday, where it was Jamar had, I think it was 16 stickers, and he wanted to give 4 stickers to each of his friends. How many stickers, or how many friends can he invite over to give stickers to, right? Well, we knew the total. Then let's say, for example, let's say Jamar has 24 stickers. So he's got 24 stickers. He wants to give his stickers to 6 friends. He wants to give these 24 stickers and share them with 6 friends. How many can he give them each? That's what division says. It's the same thing over here. It's literally the same thing. Okay, he's got 6 friends, and I don't know how many each of them get, but I know that the total is 24. It's the same exact thing. I know the total is 24 stickers. I'm going to share them equally with 6 people. How many do each get? I know I got 6 people, and I don't know how many each of them get, but I know the total is 24. Okay. That's how that works. So this division symbol is like sharing equally, which makes sense because multiplication is repeated addition, where the same number we're adding up is equal. Okay? Or the same. Okay, the next one. Blank times 7 equals 14. Now over here, which one is my total? Which one is my total? Is it the blank, the 7, or the 14? Pause the video to tell me which one of these 3, either the 2 factors or the product here, which one tells me the total? The whole thing. That's right. 14 tells me the whole thing, so I'm going to start with 14. Okay, and which factor is the one that I know? Yeah, I know the 7, right? So 14 divided by 7 equals this question mark. So if it was our sticker example, I've got 14 stickers. I need to share them equally with 7 people. How many do each get? But in this case, actually, the missing factor that I have is groups. So I would say it like this, because it's blank groups of 7. That means there's 7 in each group. So I would say I've got 14 stickers, and I put 7 stickers on each page. How many pages did I put stickers on? Okay, so that's kind of how that works. Notice I start with the whole thing. Over here in multiplication, I end with the whole thing. In division, I start with the whole thing. Shared equally with my known factor, and it equals the unknown factor. I could also write it as 14 divided by question mark equals 7. I could also say that, but why? When I want to solve for the question mark, right? I want to solve for my question mark. Okay, so this is true. This is definitely true, but maybe that's not the way we want to write it. It's true, but that's not the best way because we want to solve for the question mark, so it's better to go 14 divided by 7 equals blank. Okay, let's see here. That side's kind of full. Let's do a couple more. Okay, we'll do a couple more. Eight times question mark equals 48. So how am I going to start my division sentence? How am I going to start my division sentence? What number is going to be here? That's right, the total. And the total in my multiplication sentence is 48. So the total, and then it's going to be my known factor. Which one's my known one? The 8. I know that there's 8 groups. I know I got 48 stickers or 48 apples or 48 something. And I'm going to share them equally into 8 groups. This is my unknown factor. How many? This is the size of the group because it's the second one. How many in each? So I got 48 people, and I split them up equally into 8 teams. How many are on each team? It's a way to think about it. Okay, and one more. Let's do one more. Blank times 3 equals 12. Blank times 3 equals 12. I'm going to start with the total. I'm going to divide it by my known factor to solve for my unknown factor. Okay, well, which one is the total? Which one is the total? Which one of these numbers tells me the total? That's right, the 12 does. 12 divided by my known factor. What's my known factor? The 3 equals the unknown factor, question mark. That's how we do an unknown factor multiplication equation and turn it into a division problem. So division is really a multiplication sentence with an unknown factor. That's all division is. Division is multiplication with an unknown factor. That's one way to think about it. So if I'm missing a factor in multiplication, I can rewrite it as a division sentence. Okay, great. You can go now and do the exit ticket. I think there are 3 or 4 problems that you need to do. Make sure you take your time and do your very best.